Thank you. Oh, wow. Good evening. Welcome to Gem City Tonight. I'm your host, Andrew Mitakides, and as you can tell, yes, I ain't afraid of no ghosts. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to have a great show tonight. This, as you can probably tell, tonight's our Halloween episode. So that's why I'm dressed like, I've had a Ghostbuster uniform since I was probably 4. Fun true story about me. I actually had to wear a sign around my neck when I went to pre-K that said my name was Andrew because I told everybody my name was Peter Venkman. That's a real true story. So, yes, this is our Halloween episode, All Hallows Eve, All Saints Eve, Dia de los Muertos, whatever you want to call it. It's actually, interesting enough, if you want a little 401 on it, it was a Celtic celebration called Samhain, which was a festival to welcome in the harvest and usher in the dark time of year. Which makes total sense because the next 2 major holidays we have to spend with our families. Yeah, but it's a celebration aspect. This is one of my favorite times of years, but it's not just the costumes, and it's not the parties or the weird punch, and it's not trying to slice off one of your fingers while carving a one-toothed jack-o'-lantern. No, I'm gonna talk about the one thing that matters, no matter what age, no matter how old you are, and you know what it is. Candy. You know it. Oh, we all know it. It's a point of contention all around the world. I mean, think about it. It has created fights. It's broken up couples. I mean, seriously, have you ever brought home the wrong candy on Valentine's Day? Doomed. Doomed. Candy matters. So, and to break it down, you've got kind of a couple food groups. Okay, so stick with me here. You've got gummy, sucker, taffy, bar, gum, nuts, which doesn't count at all, sugary, and sweet. But according to Forbes, yes, Forbes magazine, the one that does the richest people's list, and Forbes magazine, where we trust them with our integrity and we listen to them. Yeah, they did a candy list. They did the top 10 best and worst candies of all time. So number 1, you want to take a guess at what number 1 was? Reese's. Take a shot. In the audience, say it again. Reese's peanut butter cups, number 1. That was number 1. Number 1 worst. Anybody want to take a guess in the audience? Snickers. That was number 2 on the best list. It was. Take a guess. Candy corn.
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly the same reaction everybody gets.
Candle.
So, interesting fun fact, every piece of candy corn that was ever made was made in 1911. And since nobody eats that crap, everyone throws it away and then they send their little candy corners out and they rustle through the trash, collect it, and sell it again. And every year, I, like an Alzheimer's patient, forget that I hate it. I pick it up, I take a piece, and I go, oh God, not again! Every year, without fail. Oh, candy corn, it's so gross. Why is it even named that? It's not candy, it's not corn, it's gross. It's not even like baby corn that goes in salad. Like that's why? Why even put that, whatever. Speaking of candy, spelled with an I, slutty outfits and things you don't tell your friends about the next day, let's move to adult films in Miami, Florida, where a recently announced adult film site has put up $10 million bid to have the city's NBA stadium renamed after them. Yeah, Bang Bros Arena.
Oh my God.
I can't make this up, I really can't. When the heat was reached for comment, a statement saying, we'll spend most of our time poking away at this, and we'll come at a timely decision.
Oh my God.
This is episode 2, I want to point that out. This is episode 2. Seriously, if the owners of the Heat would not accept this offer and merge the two things, it's the two things that are kind of on the forefront of adults' minds, even though we don't really talk about it. We totally get pornography and sports, okay? Now think of the possibilities. Every game could start with a little foam fingering.
Oh my God.
Seriously? If we need cash, you can visit one of the many Spank Bank ATMs.
Oh my God.
And of course, every game will end with a half-court money shot.
Oh my God.
I mean, why not?
Oh my God.
This is episode 2. Oh, it's all right. It's Halloween. It's fine. Which, I don't know. We need to get a shot of Aimee over here. Amy's dressed as Cat Girl.
Cat girl.
Catwoman? Catwoman?
I'm a woman, baby.
Oh, lo siento. Lo siento. So, yes, looking fantastic as always tonight. Anyway, getting back to the normal news, scientists are now claiming that a continent has been discovered buried beneath Europe. That's right. They're calling it Greater Adria. Adria? Am I saying that right? We check that in the booth? Adria? I don't know. But according to researchers, evidently it drifted underneath southern Europe roughly 140 million years ago. Okay, I majored in theater and music, and I was a tree for my final, but I think I paid attention on Earth Day. However, when I read this, I was like, it seemed a little fishy. I mean, what are the odds that all human races and the technologies and capabilities that we have that we missed a continent? Because there's 7, right? Last time I checked.
Yeah.
But then I came across an important factoid about this so-called continent that clued me into what's actually going on. That the geologists at Utrecht University, I had to put the Utrecht because it's in the Netherlands, not the nether regions, which somebody once typed. Getting back to the other.
The heat.
Never mind. In the Netherlands, which, by the way, a trusted institution. They've turned out 12 Nobel laureates. So they know what they're doing. And reported that roughly this thing is the size of Greenland? And it occurred to me, if Greenland is hiding under Europe, it's probably because Trump won't buy it. They're hiding. I'm just imagining Trump calling the Prime Minister of Greenland and being like, hey, you guys for sale? And Keem Cleason saying, no, Donald, we've melted. We're not here. We're good. We're not a thing anymore. Just move along, you and your tiny hands. But meanwhile, they're just hanging out and chilling under Europe, hoping that one of the Democrats who wins in 2020 so they can return to the surface. And mystically, they're back. So mystery solved. So Great Adria is actually Greenland. So there's your mystic thing. Nice. They're just waiting for a change at the nicest government housing you can ever have. Anyway, so for all of our viewers who imbibe, this is going to be a one final note on you. A few months ago, which I assume you're watching this because it's Halloween and you probably got some type of punch listening to Monster Mash under a bridge somewhere. A German court has now ruled that hangovers are a type of legitimate defense. Yeah, a German court has ruled that last week, hangovers are an illness that temporarily make changes to the body. So it's a logical defense. And this is coming from a country that invented Jägermeister. Okay, a drink that when you drink it, it feels like you have a grand mal seizure going on. Which, by the way, nobody ever says, hey, let's have one Jaeger bomb. Never. That's never happened in the history of Jaeger bombs. You don't casually put on a sport coat and go, Scotch? No, I'm good. Oh, wait, save the martinis. Barkeep, a Jägermeister, please. And just sip it cordially over the next 10 minutes. No, you shotgun that thing and feel like your heart's gonna explode like 2 hummingbirds having sex under your shirt. It's awful. Horrible. Anyway, the lawsuit was against an unnamed anti-hangover drink, and the firm was taken to court in Frankfurt on Monday over the marketing of the anti-hangover shot and drink powder. Plaintiffs argued that the firm were making illegal health claims, and the court logically agreed. There's no way to solve a hangover unless you have Pedialyte and a cheeseburger. But in the ruling, the court said information about a food product cannot ascribe any properties from preventing, treating, or healing a human illness or give the impression of such property. This is the actual language that was used. So basically saying there's not that's gonna solve a hangover. Nothing, you're on your own. Eat before you go to bed, a little Pedialyte, that's fine. Ironically, the ruling took place just days before the annual Oktoberfest. So the judge was later asked for a quote while he was holding a glass boot of Camberbach air, wearing lederhosen and a lampshade on his head, saying, trust me, I can get us out of this. We're fine. We got a great show for you tonight. It's our Halloween episode. Put your hands together for Catwoman. I'm just going to point out, our writers have really stepped it up in season 2.
That was amazing.
That was the half-court money shot, still my favorite.
Oh my God.
That's,
I think it's a lot of people's favorite.
that's going to be good. We're getting letters. We're getting lots of letters. All right. So every week, we always do a desk piece. This week, I kind of wanted to circle back. I talked about it in the monologue a little bit, but it's candy. Candy is one of the main things that circles around Halloween. We do it every year. You take the knapsack, you go out, you knock on doors, and you come back. And there are levels. Let's be real. There are levels of whether your costume negates what candy you get. If you went all out, then you're going to get a general size Baby Ruth, Snickers, Milky Way, whatever you want. If you didn't put any effort and you just put like a sheet on your head, you're getting like,
That's Tootsie Roll.
you're getting circus peanuts. So you're getting like Nerds or what's the taffy? Saltwater taffy. You're getting bad stuff. So if you're watching this, kids at home, probably not. But if you're adults taking care of your kids, dress them up. I'm wearing, this flight suit was like $20. Like, put some effort into it, because you want your kids to have good candy. This is also a plug for my father, who's a dentist, in case you need any toothpaste or anything. Please feel free, John Mitakides on North Forefield Road. Anyway, so we did a survey, actually, on our Facebook of different types of candies. And the question was, I need you to pick from Snickers, Kit Kats, I think we put Skittles, Reese's, and a couple of different ones up there. Now, your obviously answers, the two big ones that we had were Kit Kats and Reese's.
Yeah.
Now, what's your favorite?
My
You're going
favorite
out, what candy
candy?
are you getting?
I like a good old piece of chocolate, a Hershey bar.
Just straight up Hershey's?
Yeah, I just love chocolate.
You don't like the milk chocolate or the dark chocolate?
I'm
or
not
just-
a dark chocolate. I'm a milk chocolate kind of girl. Yeah.
Without sounding too weird. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
It's hot in here, I know. I
It
can't
really
unzip
is.
mine
Thank
though.
God this thing has a zipper on it.
Mine too.
I'm the oddity here because I'm not going to go with any one of those. I'm going Crunch Bar.
Ugh.
Yeah, and not Ghostbustery, but I'm really going Crunch Bar.
It distracts from the chocolate.
So when I go to a movie theater, true story, when I go to a movie theater, every time, bunch of Crunch.
Bunch of crunch.
Bunch of Crunch. If they could figure out a way to put bourbon in that thing, it's the only thing I would ever eat, ever. Without a doubt.
I've
Coursing
never heard
through
of
my veins.
Never heard of that.
So we did it, and like I said, most of your answers were going to be Kit Kats and Reese's. We got some weird ones. You got some generics. We got a couple of people said M&Ms.
Yeah.
Okay, M&Ms. Okay, wait, regular or peanut? Because my dad's watching this episode, and it's going to be peanut M&Ms.
You can leave the nuts out. I'm just saying I don't like the I just like a basic chocolate. You're getting me in trouble. We can't talk about candy. We're getting letters. I'll say it this time.
So the other candies we had, once again, candy corn. Second top of the list, right here, candy corn. Who's eating this crap? What? My cameraman's over here like waving her hand, crazy. Really? What is it about it?
They're so good.
What? Why? What? Seriously, what is it like? Just the chewiness, the texture, the flavor, or you've got to help a brother out.
They're just yummy.
All right, that's legit.
It
That's
tastes like
legit.
a Yankee
They can be
Candle.
yummy. Okay, that's legit. All right. Second, big one on the list that came up, Butterfingers. So I got Jonathan, liking the Butterfingers. Smarties.
Oh,
I like Smarties.
I liked Smarties.
Like Smarties.
Yeah.
Sour Patch Kids. We had a couple of people say those.
Oh, I love
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
I'll eat those till I get
You
sick.
soak those things in vodka. Mwah. Mwah.
Oh my god.
It's true. Where do we go? Had a couple Milky Ways in there. Three Musketeers.
The absolute worst.
So Robert's in now. Okay, I couldn't tell you the last time I had a Three Musketeers. I don't even know what is. It like a?
It's marshmallow.
It's like a Milky Way, isn't it?
No, it's marshmallow.
It's marshmallow.
It's like
No,
marshmallow. Yeah, it's like a marshmallow.
Chocolate marshmallow-y stuff with
Yeah.
chocolate around it.
Robert.
It's It's so good, Robert had to sit down.
Right?
Just pointing that out. Behind this camera I'm looking at, he's actually sitting down. All right. I don't know who, one person, I just wanted to highlight it, and you know who you are because you're watching right now. Dots.
Oh, I used to like those when I was little.
Yeah, no, what? So basically what you're saying is, tell all the kids in the neighborhood the random candy goes to your house? Okay, all right, I'm cool with that. We had a couple Baby Ruths, which I'm sorry, depending on the generation, if you grew up in the 80s, a Baby Ruth, everyone's gonna say it the same way. Yep. Baby Ruth! Goonies, thank you. Goonies reference. Let's see how many 80s references we could make tonight. So that's Goonies. I'm already wearing a Ghostbuster, so that's 2. So if you're watching at home doing the drinking game, that's 2. Jonathan's actually wearing a classically trained shirt, and it's the original NES controller, so that's 3. And then my last favorite 2 that I haven't seen in a while, Caramel Apple Pops.
Oh my gosh.
What are these things?
Your dad probably makes so much money off those suckers.
Apple candy with caramel on the outside.
They will rip your teeth out.
They do. They feel like you're pulling your teeth out.
They will rip your teeth out. They're so good.
Well, see, I can't ride the sucker train because I will legit. You let me finish? Jeez.
Please don't ride the sucker train. Oh my god. That was amazing.
I can't even tell you what kind of sucker I buy now because it's a blow pop. So.
Oh my god.
It's true. It's true. 25 cents Speedway. You can get a handful.
Oh my god. Don't get a handful at Speedway for 25 cents.
Oh my god.
Oh. Wow. This is the first 10 minutes of the show.
Episode 2. Oh my
All right. And last on the list that I want to highlight because I only know 2 people in the world that ever actually like these. And I don't talk to these people anymore. And I'm totally okay with it. The Mexican, it's the paper with you peel them off.
The dot things.
The dot thingies.
That's literally just sugar.
I was thinking chiclets, but
Yeah.
Like the cake toppers.
Psychopaths.
The Hello Kitty shape,
Psychopaths.
paper. Kind of like those, but they're
Awful. It's awful. She can vouch. It's awful. So there you go. Those were the random ones. That was our survey of the week. So the winner, always once again, Reese's, Kit Kats, and if you're watching the episode, Bunch of Crunch, send it my way. We'll be right back. We got a great show for you tonight. But first, Catwoman once again. That was funny. That was a good segment.
I used to feel alone, awkward, and self-conscious. I felt as if I was walking down an endless road leading nowhere. I suffered from deep depression, and I couldn't shake the pain. Soon I would catch myself having thoughts of suicide. I ached in pain for someone to come and help and tell me everything's alright. As I drifted off into my daily thoughts of emptiness, someone stepped in and reached out. They told me they were there for me. I later realized in a world this big, there will always be someone to confide in. I'm so thankful someone came to my rescue and made me feel loved. You do not have to suffer alone. Be the difference in someone's life and don't let another beautiful life be wasted. Don't wait until it's too late. Know the signs. Give light to someone in need. If you know someone who is suicidal, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 800-273-TALK.
All right, my next guest is a stand-up comedian in town. He hosts a bunch of stuff. He's hysterical. Please put your hands together for comedian actor Damon Darling. Thanks, sir. Please. Thank you for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
Welcome to the Halloween episode. I apologize I dressed like I just, walked out of the Biltmore Hotel.
Oh, it's okay. I'm dressed as a black man.
I can never pull that costume off. So, you're an Urbana guy,
Urbana, Ohio. Yeah.
but you've been down in the Dayton area for how long?
Doing comedy for almost 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, is it just 2 years?
Yeah. Well, not even. It's a year and 9 months to be exact that I've been doing stand-up.
What made you want to get into stand-up?
I was always like the funny guy, like around people I was around, and I always thought about doing it, just never went and did it.
What was the push?
Sobriety, got sober,
Nice.
and then I was able to do things after that.
Who are your influences when it comes to like your style or where you draw from?
Dave Chappelle, probably.
guy.
Yeah, Richard Pryor. I feel like I need to say a white comic.
I mean, you don't have to, but
No,
I mean.
I have plenty that I like. I just can't think of one right now.
So where do you get most of your like? Because I draw a lot of my material when I do stand up from like real life stuff.
Right.
So where do you get yours from?
Same, real life. Every now and then I'll tweak it to where it's like an ending that's blatantly not true, just to make it better. But yeah, most of my material is just real life things I've been through. So
You host a lot around town,
yeah,
and you were just, if I get this right, you were a finalist in Cincinnati.
yeah. At Go Bananas Comedy Club, made it to the final round. It was pretty cool. It was fun. My first contest. I was salty when I lost. But,
And open for Marlon Wayans.
yeah, opened for Marlon Wayans at the Columbus Funny Bone. That was pretty awesome. That was like a dream come true.
Yeah.
Cause like I'm a huge Wayans Brothers fan, like In Living Color, like all that. So that was crazy.
Is it crazy to imagine what's happened in just 2 years of just doing stand up?
Insane. I would have never thought it was possible to do all this in this amount of time in stand-up comedy.
It's interesting because I mean, like I came back and got into the stand up world here. Have you over the few years, and like a lot of guys who've been doing it a little bit longer, what's the comedy scene in Dayton for someone who hasn't been here? What's it like?
There's a lot of mics, a lot of open mics. There's plenty of stage time. It's a great launch pad for a beginning comic because you're going to get plenty of stage time. If it's not in a club, you'll get it at a bar or a restaurant or a coffee shop. It's very active. So, if you're thinking about it, Dayton.
It's and the thing I love is it's very much accepting. Like it's
Yeah.
if you want to bounce jokes off of it. I mean, Kevin Rupert and a lot of people who work on the show. I mean, John Morris and so forth who give us jokes and so forth. It's very open. It's very
Yeah.
like like hey, I want to try this guy. I'm gonna try this joke out. Like help me.
Yeah.
Like even if you go to the comedy hang at Wiley's, which you perform at a lot. I'm lucky to perform at a lot. The comedy hang is very like, hey guys, let me try something.
Definitely welcoming. I'll agree there. One of my best jokes, I actually got a tag on it that like set it off to where it is now, from a comic named Mike Wells. He's a Dayton guy.
Great guy. He's been on the show.
So
we love him.
the joke was okay, and then he DM'd me one day, and he was like, "Yo, tag you. You should tag this." I might have actually reached out to him, but he gave me a great tag, and now the joke is awesome. So.
Yeah, I mean, I've been able to work with a bunch of great writers, and you guys are watching this. I really couldn't do it without you. So, hey, we made it to season 2, so that's on you guys. But it's so great that like you can reach out and talk to everybody, and Don Smith was our first guest on the first episode. So
Oh yeah, Don's cool.
yeah,
Love
so
him.
so final question, because I know you're going to perform for us.
Yeah.
So final question, which I ask everybody on the show. In Dayton, where you going? Where you hanging out? Where's your Zen place?
Zen place. Like, what do you mean? Like,
So if you leave your house and you want to go somewhere and just chill and relax, where's your place? It can be a bar, it can be a restaurant, it can be a library, it can be Yellow Springs. What do you think?
Funny Bone.
At the
It's
Green?
yeah, Funny Bone at the Green Town Center. Even if I'm not working the door, because I also work the door there.
Okay.
I'm a door guy, so even if I'm not working the door, just go in there, hang out, watch some comedy, just to be around it. I got an addictive personality.
Totally understand
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
All right, well, we'll be right back. When we do, Damon's going to do a little stand-up for us.
It wasn't always like this. My friends were slowly going away. They found other people. And the world was slowly revolving around me. With my classes becoming harder and harder, and the constant stress of applying to college, it seemed like suicide was the answer to all of this. It was so easy to do, right there and then. I could have done it, but someone reached out to me. This person actually cared for me, talked to me, and understood me. Suicide is never the answer. Know the signs, find the words, and reach out.
All right, we're back. Please put your hands together for Damon Darling.
All right, so it's Halloween time. It's getting close, so I feel like I need to go ahead and just address this immediately. If I see a white person dress up like a black person, I'm going to dress up like a cop and whoop their ass. What's fair is fair. I'm just putting it out there. That way you can be safe this Halloween season. A little bit about me. I grew up with 4 brothers. My mom raised all 5 of us by herself. Became a registered nurse at the same time. That's usually a little more impressive when there's more black people in the audience, but I guess white people just like, that's what you're supposed to do. You made your bed, now lay in it. No pity from us. No, but raising 5 boys by yourself could be a lot. Single parent. When we get out of hand, my mom started losing her mind. That's when the threats start coming out. She'd be like, you know what, Damon, I just can't take it anymore. I'm going to have to put you guys up for adoption. My brothers get all worried and teary-eyed. I'd just be standing by the front door with my stuff packed, sending prayers up that I get picked out by a white couple. Thinking to myself, it got to be better on the other side. No more whoopings, cable. You know what I'm saying? Sign me up. I don't know. I grew up in Urbana, Ohio, a little suburb outside of Dayton. Went to all-white high school, so my best friend's Caucasian by default. He's a huge hip-hop fan, too, man. Let me tell you something about hip-hop. Don't nobody know hip-hop like a white kid from the suburbs. I'm serious, man. They always going to show you some underground white rapper who's more famous than, or more lyrical than any black rapper you can think of. Have you feeling like, dang, man, can we have something? Culture vulture. You know what I mean? I thought I was the black person in this friendship, but if you've got this, I can bounce. You know what I mean? Feel like hip-hop's in a good place. You know what I mean? Like, everyone likes some form of hip-hop now, whether you realize it or not. Like, even racist white people like hip-hop. I feel like when they're singing along to the music, though, and the N-word said, they add the ER on it. They're like, hey, your music's good, but I've got to stand firm in my beliefs. Hey, man, who cares? A fan's a fan, right? I'll take anybody's money. I don't know. What else here? I'm glad comedy's going good. I can't keep a 9 to 5. I'm not built for the system. So it's a good thing I'm starting to get gigs now. My last real job, like on payroll, was at Walmart. Yeah, I know. Not much of a job, but it paid the bills, you know what I'm saying? Once I started competing with old white women for management positions, I knew I needed to make a change in my life, you know what I'm saying? Then I realized I was working for Joanne Fabrics. Then I realized I should probably stop smoking weed before I apply at Walmart. I don't know. I feel like Target's so much better than Walmart, too, ain't it? Like, that's where all the popular adults shop, the ones that wash. And all the skanks go to Walmart. I can point them out, too. When I'm in Target and they get too close, I'm like, ew, go to Walmart. I go to the service desk and complain. I'm like, hey, man, you got some damn Walmarters in here. I didn't drive across town for this. I don't know. I heard Walmart's like starting their employees out more though, like 13, 14 an hour or something like that. I feel like that's still not enough though. You know what I mean? You're gonna earn every penny with those customers. I'd still rather just work at Target for minimum wage. At least then I could ring up customers and not get hepatitis. See, all the Walmarters are mad in the audience. I know who you are because you're mad. You know, they're like, forget you, man. Always low prices. Roll back, homie. I don't know. Kids, I'm sure we got some parents out there probably glad to be away from them right now. I can't stand kids, man. I'm gonna be honest. It sucks because I have them. I need frequent breaks from my kids too, man, because if you spend every second of your life with your kids, you're gonna be a mean parent, like getting mad at them for normal shit. Like I was with my kids for a whole weekend once, and my son came up to me and he's like, Dad, I'm hungry. I said, look, kid, I've got my own damn problems, you know, so you can just get a glass of tap water and take a nap. We were in Flint, Michigan at the time. Oh. Yeah. I didn't care, man. I didn't even stop there. I was like, you can go 3 weeks without food, son. I Googled it, so don't be trying to make me feel bad. I know how the human body works. Kids ask a lot of questions too, man. I've gotten to the point where I'm just getting really blunt with my answers. Like I got my son some ice cream the other day. He was like, thanks for the ice cream, Dad. I was like, you're welcome, son. I overdrafted my account for it. He was like, what's that mean? I was like, I stole it, son. I stole the ice cream. Like, but isn't stealing wrong, Dad? I said, the accomplice is just as guilty. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do this time together. Family. Stick together. I don't know. Yeah, I'm broke. I'm not making a lot of money yet. So I'm real cheap. My son always needs something, though, whether it's snacks, school supplies, copay at the doctor's. This is never ending, man. He ran up to me the other day. He's like, Dad, I lost my tooth. Lost my first tooth. It was like one of the big ones in the front, man. So I was like, let me guess, you want to visit from the tooth fairy. But I'm, broke dad is the tooth fairy. So I tried to figure out what can I do, because I didn't want him going and telling his friends and getting it back to the other parents that he didn't get nothing from the tooth fairy, not because I cared about him, but because I care how I look to other parents. I want to appear to look like a good dad. You know what I'm saying? So when he went to sleep, I grabbed a few bucks out of his piggy bank and put it under his pillow there. What, man? That's a parenting hack. You're welcome. 101. You'll thank me later. He's a saver. He got it right back. He just put it right back in there. You'll never know. I don't know how much more time you want me to do.
You're good.
Keep going?
You got one more?
Yeah, I got one more. All right, so glad to be doing comedy. Like I said, I had to sacrifice a lot. I've been sober for 3 years, 9 months. I haven't had one sip of alcohol. Yeah, thanks. It got bad. It got bad to the point where I tried to steal alcohol one time from a Walgreens. Yeah, bad choice. Went in straight back to the booze, grabbed a case of beer, headed straight for the exit. There was some young, cool kid working the counter. I was like, man, he ain't going to care. You know what I mean? As I got closer to the door, he said, hey, man, you got to pay for that. And I just sped up. I got to the parking lot, looked back to make sure the coast was clear, and there he was, man, coming at me. So we get to tussling over this case of beer. Eventually, I get frustrated. I said, hey, man, like, you're a teenager. You work at Walgreens. Like, why do you care so much? Please let me have this 12-pack. He wasn't budging, though. The beer spilled all over the place. The cardboard ripped. It was just a mess, man. I got out of there before the cops came. You know what I mean? It was embarrassing that it had gotten that bad. But I ran into him the next day in the break room while we were clocking in. He said, my bad about last night, man. I'm just really gunning for Employee of the Month. All right, man. I'm Damon, darling.
We'll be right back with more Gym City Tonight. Hi, welcome back to Gem City Tonight. My next guest is a author, professor, and self-proclaimed armchair detective. Please put your hands together for Meredith Doench. Please have a seat.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for dealing with our Halloween episode. Yes, it's on wheels. People don't realize that.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a big facade. As a writer, I hope you appreciate that, Jen.
Yes.
Okay. So, starting off, we're both Centerville alumni.
Yes, we are.
We're Elks, which is grammatically incorrect, but that's beside the point. That's
Yeah.
Elk, whatever. So, you're a writer.
Yes.
You always wanted to do this?
I think so, at some level, yeah. I mean, I started out just by like journaling all the time when I was younger. And then once I found Stephen King, I was like, I want to be just like this guy.
Okay.
And so that really pushed me into trying to write and do things like that, yeah.
So, note is one of your main influences? Or?
Absolutely, yeah. I did go, my undergrad is in special education.
Okay.
And then I went back to school for English and creative writing. So I did go, I started publishing later in life, yeah.
Favorite Stephen King novel?
It, for sure.
Okay, all right.
But not the movie, just
book.
the book, definitely the book, yeah.
I like The Shining, the book, not the movie.
Yeah, I can
Big-
agree with that too.
Big difference. If you're watching this, there's a huge difference between the two.
Yeah.
Now, are you, okay, I'm gonna totally digress. Like, screw these notes, I'm totally digressing.
Okay.
Are you of the thought that everything is connected? The Shawshank Redemption, which people don't realize is written by Stephen King.
I do think so,
Yeah.
yeah.
So-
I think that they're all connected in some way.
I knew it.
Did you think that? Do you
I
think-
thought it too.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So yeah, Stephen King. And then are you excited for Dr. Sleep?
Yes,
Oh,
yep.
anything with Ewan McGregor in it, that sounded really good. I don't really care though.
I love him.
I don't care. I'll watch Moulin Rouge on repeat.
Oh.
So, you came out with a series, and I have it here.
Yes.
And when did the first? Because the first one was.
First one was Crust, and that came out in 2015.
Okay, and then.
Forsaken Trust is the second one, and that was 2017.
And then Deadeye.
And Deadeye just recently released in July.
Okay, and Lucy Hansen is your.
Luce Hansen, yeah, is my protagonist.
Okay, I was gonna say antagonist. That's a little wrong. But the thing that I want to highlight about these books is she is LGBT.
Yes.
She's a lesbian.
Absolutely, yeah.
So where is it a personal, like a lot of people draw characters from people they know or
Right. Well, I mean, I was a gay teen. I mean, a gay Can we stop?
No. This is the beauty of TV.
Okay, keep going. So as a teenager, I had a really hard time finding books that had any kind of a character who was LGBTQ anything. So when I got older, I mean, I knew that I wanted to write books that specifically had characters that represented the LGBT community. And particularly lesbians who were doing a job that made them, appear smart and, capable.
What's your job in the books?
She is a special agent for the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation.
Okay.
And she's stationed out of the London, Ohio office, and then they dispatch her to different places in Ohio for different crimes.
Okay. So you've been fairly active because we were talking earlier, you did Outright
Yep.
in DC with
In
the
DC.
LGBT.
Yes.
So how?
That was fantastic. Yeah, we had a panel of queer mystery writers that spoke. That was really fantastic. There was Ann Apteker, Kristen LaBianca, Cheryl Head, John Copenhaver. We all had a big discussion about queer mystery, queer thrillers, kind of how they're in a resurgence right now.
Is that? Please tell me that's a new section at Barnes and Noble. Please
I
tell me
hope
that's
it's a new section at Barnes and Noble.
That's fantastic.
I hope so.
Why? It's. Have you seen with the changing of the social demographic and what it's like to be LGBTQ?
Yeah.
Like, have you seen a lot more of this? Has the reception been good? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, the first book, I actually wrote it in 2008 probably, and I had a really hard time finding a publisher for it, and I had an agent for a while who wanted the main character, said, does she really have to be a lesbian? I was like, yeah, she absolutely has to be that. I cannot change that. So it took some time, and the publishing house that I found, Bold Strokes Books, is really great, and they specialize in LGBTQ literature.
I was gonna say that's a good title for a publisher if you want to make waves. Bold Strokes.
Yeah. Yep.
That's enough out of you.
I didn't say it this time.
Enough out of you. Well, I want to dive more into these. You stick around for a little bit.
Sure.
All right. Well, we'll be right back for more Gem City Tonight.
Hi, I'm Lisa Coker.
And I'm Amanda Zimmer. And on Saturday, October the 5th, the Alzheimer's Association Miami Valley chapter will hold its annual Dayton Walk to End Alzheimer's at Fifth Third Field. The event brings together thousands of Miami Valley residents who want to help find a cure for this disease.
And that is because the need is so great. In the Miami Valley, 30,000 people live with Alzheimer's disease, and an additional 90,000 people serve as caregivers. Alzheimer's is a fatal brain disease that cannot be prevented, cured, or slowed. It kills more people than breast cancer and prostate cancer combined. You can help us by registering for the Walk to End Alzheimer's, which is the world's largest fundraiser to fight the disease. Invite your family and friends to join you. All money raised goes towards Alzheimer's research, care, and support for those affected by the disease.
While at the walk, participants can learn about the disease and about clinical studies and the support programs and services that the Alzheimer's Association provides. Walk participants also honor those affected by Alzheimer's disease with a poignant tribute known as the Promise Garden Ceremony. Honor your loved one today. Register now for the 2019 Walk to End Alzheimer's at alz.org/walk. That is alz.org/walk. And if you need immediate assistance, call the Alzheimer's Association 24/7 helpline, which is 800-272-3900.
All right, we're back with writer Meredith Doench. So, still sticking on your, say it again, Luce
Hanson.
Luce
Yeah.
Hanson series. So, why? There's been great interest in these books, but why? What about this character makes it so interesting?
Well, to me, the reason why I'm really interested in her is because she's a mess. I mean, especially in Crossed, her whole life is sort of just in shambles. Her father has died within the last couple of years, so she's in a major depression. She can't keep a relationship going at all. There's a lot of addiction issues that she has that kind of travel all through the three books. And so the only thing she's got going for her is this amazing ability to track serial killers, find them, stop them. And so to me, I think that's really interesting to see a character who is really great at something that pulls them out of a depth of despair.
I like it. So this isn't your only forte. You do nonfiction.
I do nonfiction too. I write a lot of nonfiction about prisons, prisoners. I'm working on something now about the AIDS epidemic in the 80s.
Okay.
So yeah, kind of all over the place with that stuff.
Interesting. And you're also, I'd be remiss not to mention our flyers in town. You're a professor at UD.
I am, yeah.
What do you teach?
I teach creative writing and composition and literature for the English department.
Are you dealing with 100 level, 200 level? What are you doing?
At the moment, all levels.
Okay.
Yes.
I was because I remember what it was like to be a freshman, and I was I would have written me right out of school. So I totally get. But it's because my mom was an English major, so I grew up with the whole me and James are going to the store. No, James and I are going to the store. I grew up with that. And then getting back to our last episode, I'm not buying you a dictionary. I need you to buy me a dictionary.
Stop.
You 4.27?
4.275.
Yeah, okay. That's enough out of you. Me and my 3.1, and I was a tree my senior year. So kind of segueing on the writing thing, with all the short text that you've seen, and like we're LOLing and we're BRBing, and it's just so forth. And it's obvious that we've seen the younger generation, the millennials, which I'm a part of, but as we get into the backside of it, like lose their way to speak and way to write.
Right.
How are you kind of combating that in class?
Well, the truth is I partake in all of that too. I mean, I definitely am a part of that. So I don't necessarily think that in class it needs to be like combated against. It can be integrated in so that it's being used in a way to also help students write better, hopefully.
Interesting. What's your, because everyone's got a syllabus, what's your favorite topic to cover in a year?
Creative writing for sure. You mean, yeah, creative writing.
What's your favorite project you give the students?
Okay, my favorite in creative writing, I like to have them do a project. It's sort of like a chapbook project where they pick the topic and they have to include poetry, nonfiction, fiction, all kinds of elements of fiction.
We're getting homework assignments for the class. That's for the entire. I know, seriously, I would totally do it. So we really would. So, because you were born and raised here.
Yes.
I always have to ask the question I ask everybody before I get into the fun stuff. If you're going, hanging out, where's your Zen place? Where's your Dayton place?
All right, well, most of the time I can't write at home. It's just too distracting. So I usually am at Boston Stoker. I love to write at Boston Stoker's. Yeah. That's a big one. Partial to Pie is another great place. Have you been there?
What? Go.
Yeah, you can get a slice of pie. You can even get a brownie. And they have coffee.
Where is this place?
It is
Where
Wilmington Pike.
Where is this you speak of?
It's near UD, right off of Wilmington Pike.
Okay. All right. So I gotta poke the bear. So what do you think, if there's one series, because when Harry Potter came out, got everyone reading again. Then 50 Shades of Grey came out, got everyone reading again. Then, before that was Tolkien. So if you had to pick one of the three, where are you going?
Oh, definitely, I would say Harry Potter.
Why?
I can relate to those characters a little better.
Okay.
Yeah, I like them.
All right, then.
Yeah.
A fun little nerdy fact before we wrap this up. You notice there's a Shakespeare anthology behind me. So I actually have 2 Shakespeare tattoos. So.
Oh, you do?
I do.
What are they of?
I do. I have Leon Macduff on my arm.
Okay.
So, and then I have I dare do all that may become a man. He who dares more is none. Down my side. So nerd to nerd, it's a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you very much.
So can we expect anything out of you in the future?
Yeah, I'm currently working on a new book called Whereabouts Unknown. It's going to be a mystery, but it will not be the same character. Sort of a.
Are you going to continue with her or this series? Or?
I think so. I just wanted to sort of work with a different character for a while. So and then I really wanted to write a character who was disabled. So the new character I'm going to be working with has a disability.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we're going to have you back for that one?
Sure, absolutely.
Perfect. So how do we find you? How do we find your books? How do we find your information on you?
Bold Strokes Books, they have a website you can order the books from, but there's also Amazon, you can get them there, and my website, which is just meredithdoench.com.
All right. Well, Meredith Doench is the writer. Luce Hansen is the series Crossfade, Forsaken Trust, Deadeye, and she has a bunch of stuff coming out. So stick around. We'll be back with more Gem Studies tonight. Welcome back to Gem Study Tonight. So for our Halloween episode, we decided to do a little Greek in the streets, and we went out to a place in Fairborn called the Secret Chamber House of Oddities and Art. I didn't know this place existed, but I'm so glad that I found it. Check this out, our Greek in the streets. All right, Gem City Tonight fans, we're actually here out in Fairborn at a place that you wouldn't suspect but a place that I love. So I'm actually sitting with Cherish, is that Harold Brooks?
Harold Brooks. Yes.
Harold Brooks, and we're at the Secret Chamber House of Oddities and Artwork. I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Big long name.
this is a fantastic store.
Thank you.
How did you even come up with this concept?
Well, I found the horror movie conventions, and I have I vended there, and I initially started out young, like coming to Foy's, and it was just my whole life was Halloween. So when I got older, I wanted to find my tribe, and I found the conventions, and I was like, wow, this is fantastic. I want to be more into this. So I started making art and doing my own booths, and then so many fantastic, amazing artists, and I would travel around, and when it wasn't convention time, and kind of sad all the rest of the year, like, where can I find this stuff? When you know, like, and you go to stores and you find bits and pieces of it, but
Right.
it's like, you know what? I think that I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to max out my credit cards, and I'm going to open a wonderful like Candyland place of my own, and I'm going to bring all these artists in here. So we have artists from a lot of local, but Dayton's got a lot to offer. So a lot of local, but we have things as far as Indianapolis, and I've had things from California. I don't sell online because I feel like this is the ambiance.
You need to be here to experience
I want
it.
people to experience all of it. And for my travels to places like New Orleans and you know, like the Carolinas, like they found some really cool, unique shops, and I wanted to bring all these little aspects in here and kind of show people that Halloween isn't just like it's not a holiday anymore. It's a lifestyle.
So you're coming up on your second anniversary, October 18th.
Yes.
So when you opened initially in Fairborn, what was there? I mean, because there's Foy's and a couple other stores around here.
Right.
But what was the reaction of the city?
I was really nervous, to be honest with you, because I didn't want anybody, especially Mike Foy and the Foy's Corporation, to see me as like trying to come in as like some kind of threat. I wanted to I wanted to jump on that train with you, like, because he's already fought these battles. I've seen a lot of people in oddity shops. They've had to fight a lot of battles when it comes to explaining where taxidermy and things come from, and we get a lot of all of ours is like natural, like deaths. I have people that donate things to me when they do animal rescue and things die, and things like that. So people don't like to ask questions, they just make assumptions. So I was really worried about like PETA fits at my front door.
Right.
But and and that whole initial thing of everyone only seeing it as like, am I only going to survive in October? So I had to get it out there, like, we're open all year. This isn't part of them, but I want to be like that little baby sister. Like, come here too. And I have everything in my shop, and the whole street. We have an amazing street. Comic book stores and toy stores, and just along with the Foy's thing. So I have like little bits and pieces. If you go in there and find anything you like in any one of those stores, there's no reason why you shouldn't come in here and at least find some corner for you that you're gonna like at least some of it. But I make a lot of things that I don't make money on, like a lot of my sideshow gaffs and pieces like that, because I just want to bring that wonder that I had when I was a kid coming in here. You just wait for Halloween just to see some of these things, but now I have like my Fiji mermaid and things like that, and just to see a little girl like, Mom, oh my God, there's a mermaid, and when she gets older, she's gonna realize like that wasn't a real thing, but that wonder that she has now, I remember that when I was a kid. So because I hold that so dear in my heart, I hope that they do too. So
I love it because walking around here, you have Predator when you walk in the front door, and you've got anywhere from stickers to skulls to dolls to masks, and it's not the distinction. I'm sure one of the things, it's not a Halloween store.
Right.
It is a year-round.
Yeah.
What would you call it, like an oddity? You said oddity shop?
Yes, I put oddities and artwork, and I made sure to put that in the title because we have oddities, we have the strange, we have the weird, but oddities doesn't have to mean Halloween. People assume that it's like Halloween, but my fascination with Halloween and just the whole horror and classic movies and things like that, people love these things. People are tattooed head to toe with Frankensteins and swamp monsters and zombies, and that's with cosplay and all that stuff that we do now. That's my favorite time to dress up isn't Halloween, actually. My favorite time to dress up is in April when I'm going through the drive-thru at Wendy's and freaking out the staff because I'm like covered in blood and like contacts. So I like the shock value.
Well,
So.
it's fantastic. So, are actually gonna walk us around and show us some stuff?
Absolutely, we got
Alright.
a bunch to look at. So.
All right, we'll be right back.
Can you ask her a follow-up question, how it went with Mike Foy? As I understand it, you have a good relationship with him.
I do.
The way you explained it kind of left it hanging there.
Okay, you're gonna like this too.
So just ask her, what's your relationship like with Mike Foy?
Okay. I didn't want to highlight them too much if we didn't want to, but okay, that works. All right.
He really is like a big part of like who I am, though. I knew you're gonna like the answer.
Okay.
I really like it.
Ready? So your shop is in the heart of Fairborn, and I'm looking at the window at Foy's. What's the relationship like between you two guys?
Before here, he was only like on this pedestal to me, and I actually, in my status of people, it goes Bill Murray, Mike Foy. So to meet him
That's
and
high.
him like, him like embrace me completely. The first time I met him, I was just like, I felt like I already knew him because I'd already been living this with him for so long. So he was nothing but kind. He leads people here all the time. He just and just the other day, he was just like, man, every time I go to your shop, it's just so cool, and there's so many awesome things, and like my heart is just like, it's almost like that proud papa moment. Like, but yeah, it is truly like, and I briefly met Bill Murray, so like Mike Foy is he's definitely my second guy. He's up there.
Being a Ghostbuster, I'm fully jealous of that
Yes,
moment.
right. He gave me a rose. It's probably because I seen his like stand-up thing, and which was really, it's not like a comedy bit, by the way. There was all kinds of things happening. They were singing, and there was like he was reading poetry, and it was just but I was like front row, of course.
A night
And
with Bill Murray or whatever
yes,
it was.
he ended up being right in front of me in this entire place, and so every time he was doing something sad, of course I'm and then when he's saying something funny, I'm just laughing way too hard. So
jealous.
I know.
So jealous.
So they handed him a bunch of roses, and he walks off the stage, and then he comes back on. Everybody's still standing up clapping. And he looks at me, points, and like takes this rose and like hands it to me. So for one initial second, at the same time, there was like Bill Murray energy through the flower.
So jealous.
Yeah.
Oh, so jealous.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, it's the coolest story ever. I can't even believe it happened. So, but yeah, I was like, I definitely look like a psycho fan.
That's what I would have done.
I know. But please adopt me. Yeah, I just call me on Christmas. I'll be fine.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Tales from the Crypt, can't believe it.
Yeah, Ghostbusters has been one of my. It was actually before my grandma died when I was little. She got a VCR and the Ghostbusters tape for me, and I just played it and played it and played it. So I feel like I'm some kind of prodigy child between like Bill Murray and Roseanne Barr, and two ugly people make a beautiful baby. So here I am.
I love it. Absolutely love it. That was an absolute blast. Seriously. So I want to thank Shane and Cherish for showing me around. It was so much fun. You really need to go out there. It's in Fairborn, and once again, a secret chamber house of oddities and art. Fantastic for our Halloween episode. We'll be right back with more Gem City Tonight. I want to thank my guests, writer Meredith Doench, the Secret Chamber House of Oddities and Art, and comedian Damon Darling. It's going to be a great Halloween, Dayton. And remember, you're not alone.
And you never will be.